Joining me now, board-certified OBGYN, Dr. Greg Marchand, to continue the discussion. Doctor, good to see you. I kind of feel like the rollout here was a little confusing. So let's kind of break this down for folks. What do we know about the Harvard and Mount Sinai studies and some of the other studies that were discussed yesterday about the potential impact of acetaminophen during pregnancy and autism diagnoses? What do we know about that piece of it?
Well, we don't know for sure if there's a link, but there is a lot of evidence, some of it pointing each direction. When you look at the studies that are out there, though, it is lower quality evidence because there really is no randomized control trial. It'd be tough to have a randomized control trial about something like this. There'd be ethical concerns, but there is the best evidence that we have in this case is the meta-analysis that put together all of the observational studies. And when you look at that, it does show an association, not an actual proven link yet, but it does show an association between Tylenol and autism. So because of that, I'm quite pleased about the announcements that were made yesterday. I really think they were very pro-science announcements made by Trump and RFK, stating that they're going to be looking into this. This is going to be an initiative of this administration, and that's so important with so many autistic children being born. And, his advice was very cautious. He said, use caution while we're looking into this. Let's not use this unnecessarily. And he did admit there may be some cases where Tylenol may be unavoidable, particularly in the third trimester for fevers, but he certainly isn't banning Tylenol. He's moving towards the science to help women and help doctors in this country give the best care.
I want to play this this moment from yesterday's news conference. A mother who has a severely autistic child, she says that she's embracing and appreciates what the administration is doing here. Watch.
No one has been able to point to anything to say this is what caused it. And you can't point to that and say it didn't cause it. I have no idea. I'm completely open, not blaming anything, but I'm open to the discussion and the fact that there's work being done to find answers. I'm very grateful.
Doctor, there's been a lot of study about genetic links. This approach that the administration is taking also folds into some of these other environmental factors. But why are so many people today so reflexively opposed to taking this step, which, by the way, nobody is saying is a panacea, but just a step that could be effective?
You're correct, and I think a lot of it has to do with politics and money, unfortunately. It's really wonderful that now that Trump, RFK, and Jay Bhattacharya are putting this as a focus, that there's going to be actual money spent on researching this and not looking the other way, not in defense of drug companies, not in defense of the vaccines. This is going to be a focus of the new NIH. So that's really a wonderful initiative. As you probably know, the NIH prior to this administration was spending billions on both gender-affirming research and DIE projects, but now our focus is back on this horrible disease of autism, and that woman's words really ring true. This is where our focus should be. It's very wonderful that this administration is putting the money into this research, as they should be, to hopefully, if there's any way to prevent this, find a way to do that.
The Food and Drug Administration also approving a new treatment for children with autism. Leucovorin, I think I've got it right. I probably have pronounced it wrong. But it treats a cerebral folate deficiency, a condition associated with autism. Now, this is also a critical piece of the story, not getting a lot of attention. People have been talking a lot about acetaminophen today. So talk to us about what we know about folate deficiency, how it could impact brain development and function, and what this new drug could potentially do.
Absolutely. So the theorized method of action of how Tylenol could conceivably cause autism is that it's going to cause oxidative stress. Mom's going to take the Tylenol, it's going to go through the placenta into the fetal brain, and it's going to cause oxidative stress that's going to either cause cellular damage or make those fetal brain cells have more difficulty talking to each other, more difficulty developing. So leucovorin, which she did pronounce correctly, is a drug that's been out for a while. It's very good. We know it's very good for preventing side effects from chemotherapy, for protecting the brain for that. So it does make sense that this would be something that could be useful and could stop that kind of oxidative stress in fetal brains, especially since we know that fetal livers are not as good at detoxifying substances. For example, like the byproducts of Tylenol when it's digested, fetal livers are not as good at digesting that. So this is a great therapy to look into. Now, we don't know for sure if it's going to work yet. We do need studies into that, and that's why it's wonderful they're making this an initiative. And it probably wasn't looked into before and with the previous administration, because this is a drug that's been out for a long time for chemotherapy usage. There's probably not much money in doing this. No drug company is going to make billions of dollars because of their new drug that's released. This is something that's already generic and made in generic factories. So I think it's wonderful that they're focusing on this and putting meat into this research.
Certainly a lot more to come on this, and Dr. Greg Marchand, we appreciate you being here to help us break this down. So it's very technical stuff.
Thank you.
So, thank you, sir.